spiritual world. The Kabbalists today have studied some of the modern theories of physics, and for people who go off to those things and tangents, I just direct you to the writings of Rabbi Yitzchak Feivish Ginsburg, who is an incredible mathematician and understands physics, and he has within his Kabbalah many parallels between the Kabbalah and the physics. I'm not going to bore you to death with those things. I'm just going to talk about simple things. The most telling and glaring thing that's found in Pesach is matzah. We all eat matzah on Pesach. Matzah is composed of 3 letters. The numerical equivalent of matzah is 135, because the mem is 40, the tzadi is 90, and the hey is 5, and that equals to 135. Now, that's the equivalent of 2 of God's names. In the Kabbalah, God's name is the Tetragrammaton. It goes through the number 26, but the Tetragrammaton is written in different formats. There's a way in which the format of the Tetragrammaton is equal to 72, to 63, to 52, and to 45. When you take the 2 highest numbers, which is 72 and 63, that equals to 135. So the matzah is a channel for the divine revelation of the Tetragrammaton on the 2 most profound levels. And so matzah is a channel for the divine, and it's the equivalent of 135. Matzah by itself is a channel for godliness, but there are other things that help us reach godliness in a much more profound way. One of the things that we Jews excel in is in the commandment of giving money for charity, for tzedakah. And it's interesting, there are 3 things that we do during the holidays of Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, which is to pray, to fast, and to give charity. And the numerical value of all of those 3 things is equal to 136, which is 1 more than the matzah. I'll show you, because what we do when we give charities, we give mammon, we give money. Mammon, or money, is 40, 46, and 50, which is 136 for those who are looking over here. And the same thing is true with when we cry out to God, the word is kol, it's also equal to 136. And when we fast in supplication, asking God for a good year, the word tzom, tzadik vav mem, is also equal to 136. So this goes beyond the matzah. How does this go on beyond the matzah? Because when you give money to charity, and you really sincerely mean that you want to help another human being, that's even more profound than eating matzah. But matzah is the first thing that you got to do. You got to eat the matzah, have the channel for faith, but then you got to give something up. What happens after you've given the money and you've fasted and you've prayed to God? Then you're ready for the divine revelation. Well, the divine revelation is said by the masters of the divine is the study of the Kabbalah. Kabbalah is the next step after giving money to charity. Kabbalah is 137. In fact, 137 represents a prime number. It's a very profound number that in the natural world, 137, strontium 137, is a very, very dangerous isotope. But 137 is a very powerful number. It's a very independent number, and that comes after you've eaten the matzah and you've given your money to charity. Then you're able to study the Kabbalah, and then you become independent, a self-generating kind of person. What is the other element that's found on Passover is the getting rid of the Chametz. Amazingly, Chametz looks like matzah. And in fact, if you look at it, there's a slight difference between Chametz and matzah in that there are 2 letters that switch over. One is a hey and the other is a chet. Because the matzah, the mem tzadik, is also found in Chametz, as you can see right here. Mem tzadik is 40 and 90, but there's a chet over there. Instead of a 5, it's an 8, it's 138. So how could it be that Chametz reaches beyond Kabbalah. I'll tell you, I'll explain to you. Chametz represents arrogance. Arrogance is ego. Ego can be dangerous. In fact, ego is the worst sin, according to the rabbis. According to the Hasidim, the worst thing that you could tell a person is you're a yesh, you're a selfish, good for nothing. A lot of us are that way. We don't think of anybody else except ourselves. We can't think of helping the poor people in this world who don't have what to eat because we got bills to pay. Yes, you have bills to pay, but you're eating. You got to find a way to share your money with somebody else. So chametz is what is leavening that makes the person bigger and gives the person an ego. The ego is bad. However, if you could first eat the matzah and then give money to charity and then study the Kabbalah, then the chametz, the sourdough, the ego can become transformed into holiness, and it becomes the next step, which is above the Kabbalah, above self-sufficiency, in which the person is ready to receive the divine revelation which is beyond Kabbalah. Kabbalah is the study, but then you want to have the divine revelation. Well, how do I know that this is the divine revelation? Well, one of the names of the Messiah, this is going to sound like a Lubavitcher advertisement, maybe it is that the name of the Messiah, according to one of the opinions of the Talmud, is the name Menachem. Menachem means the one who consoles. Menachem is also equal to 138. So there you have it. Eat the matzah on Passover. Avoid the chametz. Eat the matzah. The matzah will give you the channel of faith. Then you can utilize your material goods for the benefit of all of mankind, giving money to charity. You'll come to the next step, 136, and then you'll be ready for the study of the spirituality, which is the Kabbalah. And then you'll be able to transform your ego into an ego that's good, which is the ego, the identity of godliness, which ultimately is the identity of the Messiah. We reach the Messiah only after we have the matzah first. So if you try to become an egotist, chametz, then you're destroying the whole process. And you wind up just being bloated and being a selfish good for nothing. But if you start off eating the matzah on Passover and go through the process, you're on your way to receiving the light of the Messiah.